There's no way in the world I didn't think there was... I didn't think there was marriage or kids, you know, in the future for me. And that happened. I got everything I owned, put it in a car, had $5,000 in the bank. I had no job, no friends, no place to live. If I was going to tell that little kid something, it would be very often with people. You may feel like you don't have a lot of value. You may be just in the wrong place.
As a kid, what sort of kid were you?
Being a sensitive kid in that environment wasn't really safe for me.
On the 10th of December, there's obviously a national social media ban. That was you as a 16-year-old. Now, what you see, what do you think the impact will be?
Over many, many, many years of therapy, like 12, I learned to see that those mechanisms that I used to make myself safe then don't make me safe now. In fact, they keep me away from some of the best things about community and having people around me.
Darren, here we are on the couch. I feel like a little bit different. I'm interviewing you instead of we're walking around doing an interior design tour.
It is much easier to sit and talk rather than walk and talk.
Yeah.
I can barely walk, talk and chew gum.
So we just shared a little photo of our childhood. Take me back to that time, and what do you remember about that time of your life?
So childhood for me was central Queensland, growing up in the bush, riding my BMX to school, very simple 1980s kind of rural Australia childhood. Yeah, like simple house, one level, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. That was it. Small town.
In central Queensland?
Yes, central Queensland, Gladstone in central Queensland, which was at the time about 30,000 people. So, and also it's a industrial town. So it is the place that you go if you want to work in steel or power or cement or a trade. Certainly not necessarily the place to be if you are a young, gay, interior design focused young man.
So I grew up in the country too, as you know. Grew up on a farm. I'm one of 5 girls. My poor dad. I'm the 4th. So I had 3 older sisters and a young.
Do you reckon your dad wanted a boy and just kept going?
Probably.
Yeah.
I didn't have a BMX bike, but I had one of those bikes that had the big seats with the back on it. It was pretty cool.
They are. That's proper nostalgic 1980s retro Australia right there. Did it have the big handlebar?
Yeah, big handlebars as well. Yeah.
Sick.
And we had got lots of great memories on the farm. My father just sold it actually a few weeks ago. It's been in the family over 120 years. Oof. So big change for him. But we've got wonderful memories, and a local family bought that. So hopefully they start creating new memories as well. But it's pretty cool to see us younger self. Now tell me a little bit about, if you could talk to your younger self, what would you say to him now?
Yeah, have you ever seen those things where people put a photo of themselves holding a younger photo of themselves through AI?
No.
Here it is. It's super sweet, and there's something really quite therapeutic about the idea of holding your inner child. I know this sounds very therapeutic, but I've had lots of therapy, so I know. If I was going to tell that little kid something, it would be that you're perfect just the way you are. You're in the wrong environment. That's all. Mm. So there's a great anecdote. I'll try and paraphrase it. But someone takes an old watch to a pawn shop and they're like, I'll give you $40 for it. They take the same watch to a jewelry appraiser and he's like, I'll give you $10,000 for it. And they take it to a museum and they're like, it's priceless. It's not the object that changes the value of it. It's the environment that it's assessed in. And very often with people, you may feel like you don't have a lot of value. You may be just in the wrong place.
Powerful. So that when you were obviously in Gladstone, at what point did you decide that you wanted to be an interior designer? Like, was it in your makeup when you were a kid?
No, and look, interior design wasn't really on the radar. I didn't know interior design was a thing that someone did, so I just didn't know that. Do you remember Hey Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mr. Kelly was an architect, and Mr. Kelly being an architect on the telly when I was maybe, I don't know, 8, 9, I was like, what does an architect do? Okay, they make houses. Cool, I want to be an architect. I want to make houses. So then I learned that you have to study for 6 years to be an architect, and when you come out of architecture school, you earn not very much money for quite a few years. So I was like, not that. And I also didn't get the grades at school. I have an inkling that I have ADHD. Haven't been diagnosed yet, but if there's any psychiatrists out there that can help me with that, hit me up. So as a consequence, I wasn't great with school, but I was smart enough to just really cram at the last minute and get through. But as a consequence, I didn't get the grades to be an architect. So at the end of school, I didn't know what I was going to do at all. I had no clue. And from the moment I knew that you do something for a living, I wanted to make houses, but I didn't know how that would then apply to me. And so a friend of mine said to me that her dad had a friend in Gladstone who owned a sign writing company. And if I got the qualifications in sort of graphic design, sign writing, he'd give me a job. And I was like, good enough for me. So I went to TAFE, studied fine art for a year so that I could get into the graphic design course the next year. So I did a certificate for a year at TAFE. And then I did 2 years at TAFE in graphic design. And as a consequence to that, I got a placement in an advertising agency in Brisbane at the very end of my 2-year course. And I had a great attitude. I was basically working for free. It was very cheap. And they gave me a job. So they
Cool.
offered me a job before I finished school. So I finished college and didn't need to go back to Gladstone. I went to Brisbane and worked in an advertising agency. And then I had an aptitude for that. The next job I had, I was running the retail division of DDB in Brisbane.
What's DDB?
DDB Needham was a rather large advertising agency, and they had a retail sub-brand that, I was just in the right place at the right time, and they're like, you can run it. So I was 20 running that in my second job. And then, I just moved to another job with a bunch of really talented, creative people, working for a not so pleasant person, but I'm around some really great mentorship and great people that could make me better. And then I went to Sydney just to visit I think it was like September 1999. And I went to Mrs. Macquarie's chair, which is right next to the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. And I was looking in the water and I was like, oh, you can see all the sand in here. The harbour's so clear in Sydney. That's amazing. And then I looked up and I was like, Botanical Garden, CBD, Opera House, Harbour Bridge, Harbour. I was like, I need to live here. That was September 1999. And I moved. I got everything I owned, put it in a car. I had $5,000 in the bank. I had no job, no friends, no place to live. So I lived with a boy I was dating for like 2 months. I'd been dating for like 2 months. And I drove from Brisbane to Sydney, just like, what's the worst that can happen? I have to go back. So I took a punt and it all kind of worked out.
Well, I'm going to unpack that a little bit more, but I just want to ask about, so as a kid, what sort of kid were you?
Really sensitive, actually. Yeah, it's funny, like I've developed and had to unpeel a lot of this stuff because being a sensitive kid in that environment wasn't really safe for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's not the environment where you want to be a sweet little gay kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I built all these defenses around me to keep myself safe and to keep people away. So being harsh and acerbic and quick-witted and all these things that actually can come off as leave me alone as a wall to protect himself. And again, over many, many, many years of therapy, like 12, I learned to see that those mechanisms that I used to make myself safe then don't make me safe now. In fact, they keep me away from some of the best things about community and having people around me. So I was that child who then had to be that teenager so that I could fit in my environment and then learn all these ways to kind of keep myself from being bullied, which happened. It happened at school. It happened at home, actually. But it's one of those things that I'd learned how I needed to work around them as a kid. And then I had to unlearn those things as an adult because the things that keep you safe as a child that are really effective usually are the things that are keeping you from reaching your potential as an adult.
Yeah, powerful.
Yeah, I've had some therapy.
Thanks for sharing. Now, one question back to your childhood before we move to Sydney again. I'm interested about your bedroom. Did you have like a neat bed? Did you chop pillows at a young age? Like, what was your bedroom like?
Yeah, so this is why I think I've got ADHD, amongst the many, many reasons. But I was talking to my mum the other day, and she said, "Oh, your sister was always finished with the homework, and she's always ready, and you just never had anything organised, and you're always running late for school, and all your stuff." And I remember one time I was like rushing out the door, and my bag fell open, and everything fell down the stairs, and I had to pick it all up. Like, that's the kid I was then. I'm still that person now. I've just worked all these ways to manage it. But when she said that to me the other day, I was like, oh, wow, even back then, that's how my mind worked. So what was the question?
Your bedroom.
Oh, so, see.
Styling.
Wallpaper on the walls with navy blue sailing ships. My dad made me a double-decker bed, but one bit went that way and one bit went that way with like shelves, cupboards on the end. I had a desk, I had a TV, and like a gaming console. I think it was an Atari or something.
Atari.
So, what was the other one? Yeah, no, it was an Atari. No. What's the other one? That Sonic the Hedgehog used to be on.
I never had a game.
Sega.
How do you know that? You were so young.
I think I had a Sega. Yeah, I had a Sega game system, I think. And yeah, that was actually my little sanctuary for a little while. Like my first year in high school in Queensland, so back then it was year 8. I went from like year 7 in primary school, lots of friends, lots of connections, lots of community. Year 8, different school. Some of my friends that were my friends the year before weren't my friends anymore. I was quite isolated, and I really didn't have anybody in my life for a year. So I spent a lot of time in that room, and that was hard. That was really tough, and I think that's when I kind of learned, okay, I've got to learn all these ways to sort of mask all this stuff that's not okay anymore until I was in a place where I was able to be myself and be safe. So I think that's another thing. I told my nephew this because he lives in a rural environment. He's a gay young man. And I was like, it is okay to fit in now as long as you understand that there are bits of you that you're going to have to make to fit. But then when you're an adult and you're in a safer environment, you have to remember to unlearn those things, because the trick is, as you get older, is removing the bits of yourself that you've put up as a defense and letting the bits of yourself that are the parts you like or the authentic bits shine through. But it's okay to adapt to your environment to stay safe. It's perfectly okay.
Do you think it's easier now for young people?
No, I don't. I think it's easier in some places. I think it's easier in pockets of metropolitan areas. My nephew was gay bashed.
Yeah, wow.
On a beach, a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. So that happens. Still happens.
Yeah, it's hard to believe in 2025 and that's still occurring, isn't it? So it leads me into Kids Helpline. So you've been with us for 11 years, giving back to a charity that, how it all started. We can talk a little bit about that, but Kids Helpline's been around for over 30 years. Maybe when we were growing up, we weren't really aware of Kids Helpline, but what do you take out of the support that Kids Helpline does in the community, and what you'd say to young people if they were going through what you went through as a young person?
Yeah, I think it's important to be able to have someone to speak to, and I think it's especially important to have an anonymous person to speak to if you are a young person, because you're really aware that you want to make sure that you don't get anybody in trouble, that keeping things away from the people that might worry about you, but you also need to make sure that you're looking after yourself. And that's why it's so valuable, is because you can be able to have open and frank, honest conversations that may be more honest with a stranger that's trained than you could be with a friend or a family member, because they're maybe too close to you to be able to detach from giving good advice.
Yeah.
I think there's a big place for family and friends and community in assisting you, but I really think there is nothing like well-trained advice at an arm's length, because they have a better macro view of some of the things that may help you to manage situations that you find yourself in, or things that are distressing you or causing you some problems in your life. I think it's really, really helpful to have somebody external to speak to, especially someone like in Kids Helpline, where it's an anonymous and you can just tell the truth and share.
Yeah. It's a great, and every 90 seconds a young person reaches out. We just actually had our 9 millionth contact go through.
9 million?
Yeah,
oh,
so over
wow.
30 years. So that's a long time to be, a lot of young people that have used the service, but not every call gets answered, as you know. So it's always really important to make sure that, we're funding to make sure we're there for the young people that we need. So let's move to Sydney. You got there with the $5,000, your car full of stuff. How did it? Someone gave you an opportunity, and I think that's really important for young people, that there's always someone will give you an opportunity.
Yeah. So my story, in a nutshell, was I got a job at an advertising agency, freelance. I did a lot of freelance work in advertising. Then I started a graphic design business with a friend. We worked for ourselves, and then at 27, when I realised that I was doing the wrong thing, and I was good at graphic design, but I was really passionate about interiors. I purchased an apartment with 3 friends, because even back then it was hard, and that was back then. I didn't have any money, so we pooled our resources, we pulled out deposits, and we purchased an apartment together. And I renovated that place over a year. I did a lot of the physical labour myself, and in that time I had done a website for some people I knew, friends of friends, who were interior designers, and I didn't know any back then. And these guys were they just lived a life that I was like, wow, you can live like this? Because they used their skills to build an amazing home for themselves. And they invited me down there, and I saw this place. I was like, whoa, this is a life that I had not pictured. And when I did my apartment, I invited one of them, Dane, to come and have a look because his partner, John, was in France at the time. And they worked together separately. So they had separate businesses, but they'd help each other out with stuff. And John was away. So I said to Dane, can I just tag along with you for work and like learn some stuff? I've done this apartment, but can I learn from you? And he was like, well, this apartment's great. You've got a really great aesthetic. It's actually quite aligned to my aesthetic. So yeah, sure, come along. So I worked with him for free for a little bit. Then I sort of would get given little small jobs to do. So things that were low risk for him and low impact for me. And then I learned a lot from him on the job, and he taught me a lot. He was very generous with his knowledge. And he also used to write for a travel magazine. So I was like, okay, so you can write for this job too? That's interesting. And if I hadn't met those people, I wouldn't have seen a life that I couldn't have ever imagined. I wouldn't have known that you could do so many different things if they're the skills that you have. Also, the funny thing is, in school, I loved English, art, and technical drawing. And none of those things make sense together at school. You can't go to a job counselor and be like, oh, these are the things I'm great at. What job is that? Because it's this job. It's literally, if I look backwards, I'm like, well, I write for a living, and I'm a creative, and I work in building and home design, right? So those three things now make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I guess my advice on that would be follow the things you're passionate about, and follow the leads in your life where there's things that you're pulled towards with your heart, and things that you love, things that bring you joy. Because even if it doesn't make sense now, there will be a point where you'll be in your life and you couldn't have gotten to that bit unless you'd been passionate about all those things. And it does reveal itself. You just have to, you have to look out for the signs. You have to trust your gut. You have to have faith that you'll get there if you just keep going. And it's really, really hard. It's very hard. It's really easy when you're succeeding. It's super hard when you're not. But also with mentorship, with having people around you that can teach you from their experience, that you can look to as an example of a better life, it will change the way you see what is capable, what is possible for you, what the world can offer you. My life now does not look anything like what I thought my life could be when I was that kid back in high school. It absolutely, there's no way in the world that I thought I would leave the country to travel, let alone work overseas. I didn't think there was, I didn't think there was marriage or kids, in the future for me. And that happened. Like, just life will reveal itself. You just gotta keep moving in a direction that feels like it's meant for you.
Such an important message. I think that I remember my daughter's just finished year 12, as you know, and I remember her trying to choose subjects for her going into year 11 and 12, and it was a really challenging time because, like, at 14, like, you don't know what you want to do. 15.
My advice on that would be, and I give it to my son, it doesn't matter.
No.
Like, the pressure that young people put on them, or society and the school system puts on young people to know what they want to do and to choose the subjects and do all the things. There is more than one way to skin a cat. There are so many ways into doing the thing that you become passionate about, and often it's exploration that reveals them. So yeah, it's important. Yes, you should definitely work hard at school. You should definitely... My advice actually is this, and I also give this to our son. Preparation is everything in life. Everything that you can do that requires work requires preparation. If you can prepare as much as possible, then you'll know what you're capable of. Only then. Because if you don't do the work ahead of time and be as prepared as possible, you will never know what you're capable of. So just do the work, prepare, and then just keep at it. Like there are so many times I wanted to quit. There's so many times I wanted to go and pour beers. There are so many times I thought I would have to add to my income so that I could just keep going. I used to open a piggy bank once a month and get coins out so I could eat.
Wow.
That's the truth. But success just lies right on the other side of that. It always is literally on the other side of I want to stop.
That's a perfect message about resilience.
Yeah.
And not giving up.
Yeah, and resilience is super easy when things are going well, and it's really, really hard when things are not going well.
Yep.
But that's when you need to just have faith that it'll all work out in the end. And if it's not worked out, it's not the end.
Yep. Good feedback. So the first sort of fame you got, was that you were on a celebrity show? Is that right?
I was on a renovation show in 2009, and I was 32 then. And I thank my lucky stars that it happened in my 30s, because if it happened in my 20s, I don't think I could have handled it.
And was that when you met Neil Whitaker? Was that?
Yeah.
Tell us that story.
Yeah, that's a good story. So, I'd actually not met Neil, but he published me in Bell, and my career was starting to take off, and I had exposure in Bell from that renovation show. So that renovation of my apartment. And so what I did when I was asked if I wanted to, well, a friend of mine sent me a message saying there's a show, you should audition for it, and I didn't want to risk the good PR that I'd had, right? So I was like, I'm really unsure if I want to do this thing and fail and then ruin all the good work that I've got up my sleeve in terms of being published in Bell and stuff. So I rang 3 friends who worked in the media, and one of them was a well-known fashion designer, one of them was a well-known photographer and TV judge, and the other one was somebody else. And I asked all 3 of them. One of them said, definitely don't do it. One of them said, definitely do it. And the other one said, I can't advise you. And I was like, well, that's super not helpful. So then I decided to audition, took the risk, turned up to the show to do the promo shoot where it's contestants and the judges, and in walks in the 3rd person who I asked that said I can't advise you as one of the judges, who was Neil Whitaker.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So he's been a big part of my life. He's a good friend and a good person.
And then, so from there, the block, was that how the timeline went?
I mean, not really. So like 2009, I did this show, came second, walked away with $0.
Right.
And that also took me out of work for a couple of months. And also I was burnt out after it. So I found it really hard to work for about 6 months. But I got some therapy, got through the burnout. I was then able to get some skills in front of a camera. So I was comfortable in front of a camera delivering stuff. I started writing. I wrote for GQ and I wrote a bunch of articles for them. And I got all of this sort of expertise in the media just kind of incidentally. And then I was given the opportunity to guest judge on the block, just a challenge. And I did that well. So then the next year they asked me to come back and fill in for John McGrath 5 times. And then next year after that, I was a full-time judge.
Wow.
So it's just, I guess the point being there, I took a risk to be on the first show, and it was a real risk and it paid off. Then there was a consequence, but I worked through that. I got more skills, I took another risk, and that paid off. And it's really easy to keep yourself safe by not putting yourself out there. It's actually way, way easier. But all the good stuff sits outside your comfort zone.
Yep.
And I would rather the pain of, it's better to have the, what's the word I give, this is advice I give to my son as well. The fear of embarrassment is nothing like the pain of regret.
Yep. It's another lot of wisdom from Darren
Oh,
Palmer.
mate, I'm the sage. Yeah.
So block judging, and then there's obviously always criticism. Sometimes, how do you manage that online? On social media, because there's the haters and the trolling. So yeah, how do you deal through that now?
So the short answer is I filter it. If something comes through that's inappropriate, I block them like that.
Yeah.
They just get blocked and they never get seen again. I saw actually Guy Sebastian said this on an interview recently, and it really struck a chord. That somebody was on his Instagram hating on him, and he responded, and then one of his fans wrote to him and said, "I've been supporting you for years, telling you how much I love you, how great I think you are, how much you inspire me, and you've never once responded to me, but you respond to that." And he was like, whoa, okay, that's a really good point.
Good point.
So any hate that comes my way gets blocked.
Yep.
They never get another opportunity to speak to me. They're gone.
Yep.
I don't go looking for comments. The internet can be a particularly harsh landscape, especially with anonymity behind a keyboard. This is a flippant thing to say, but I really mean it. I want the opinions of people that I highly regard. And if I were to get the opinion of somebody that I don't respect on the street, I would disregard it.
So true. Yeah.
So why on earth would I listen to the hateful words of a stranger or somebody I knew? Like, why would I do that to myself? The internet is the place for that, but you can filter it all out. And it certainly is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them projecting their stuff on you.
Yeah. So we showing our age a little bit, and I'm definitely older than you.
By a smidge.
We didn't grow up with social media.
Thank Christ.
Yeah, agree. So there's on the 10th of December, there's obviously national social media ban. What do you think, the impact of that is going to be on, how, if that was you as a 16-year-old now, what you see, what do you think the impact will be?
So what does it entail? It's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Snap?
Yes, yeah.
Anything else?
Facebook. YouTube. Young people like you, they're wanting to be an interior designer, they're obviously following content because that's what they want to be, they aspire to be, whether it be a content creator or they want to be. So how do you think they'd navigate that now?
Yeah, I would say so. This is why I ask which platforms it covers, because if it doesn't cover Pinterest is an amazing place to be for me, for an interior designer. Also, I would suggest, it's analog, but magazines and books are a wonderful place to look at great work. Pinterest, I think, is the best place to be in terms of keeping up with what's now. And there is a lot to be said for educating yourself on whatever is interesting to you. And there are other places on the internet that are less of the dopamine squeeze bag in your brain response, that are more, they're going to help you train your brain to sort of take on longer tasks that really do help in life, because not everything takes 30 seconds and not everything gives you a dopamine payoff. So it's a tricky challenge for sure, especially for young people who've grown up with that all their lives. But there are other solutions to spending your time. Don't ask a 48-year-old man how a teenager should spend their time. That's just unfair.
It's hard. I mean, I guess I don't know either. And I think back, if you were probably creating a mood board at 16, it would have been magazines, it would have been on a pin board, it would have been doing your own photography, that sort of thing. So,
but do it in Pinterest. Pinterest is a great place for creative.
Yeah.
So is Canva. Yeah,
I love Canva. Okay, Darren, 11 years we've been working together. So we've got those photos of you and I, our first time we met. We were so young. 11 Christmas prize homes. What's one's been your favourite?
Every year it's the one I've done.
Yeah.
Every single year. And it's not because it's the newest, freshest one in my mind. It's because each year I get to do something different. And yeah, I mean, I love the one that we built from scratch, obviously. I think the last 4 years have been particularly fantastic. But this house is, it's very cool. I hope that the people that win this home want to live in somewhere fun and relaxing at the same time, that get a lot of joy out of all the joy in the interior here. I know it's not for everybody, but look, frankly, if this isn't your style of home, for $5.8 million, sell it to somebody whose is. Don't let that stop you from spending $15 to have a chance to win $5.8 million tax-free and change your life.
Yeah. There's a lot of houses you could buy with $5.8 million.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that would fall in love with this house that you would sell it to like that.
Yeah.
So even if this isn't your dream coastal beach house, buy a ticket, win it, change your life.
And how it all started with Kids Helpline. I remember Tracy Gillen reached out to you. That was an interesting conversation. But you're still here. So why do you keep coming back to support with us?
Look, a lot of my work and a lot of my life is about things that I want to do that are commercially minded. So I do multi-level residential houses. I do houses for myself. Basically everything that I do is commercial. It's for money.
Yeah.
Because I get to use my skills to make money. And it's not often that you can be in a situation where you can do the thing that you do for money that you're also really passionate about and enjoy doing to help other people. Especially doing what I do, which is so aesthetics focused and so really about meeting a single brief for a single client. But to be able to amplify my two big skills, which is being able to sit in front of a camera and talk cohesively, and also to be able to reimagine spaces and to make them real, and use those skills to amplify through your charity to help so many people, it gives me a really great sense of accomplishment and joy, because doing something aesthetically driven can be kind of surface level. But this is very, very deep. It's very, very helpful to a lot of people, and we're amplifying the way that I can use my skills to help a lot of people, and it makes me feel really good.
That's good. And I guess your childhood that you've shared with us, is probably one of the reasons with Kids Helpline is important, because it is, that there's people there to help.
Yeah.
The young Darren that we talked about before.
Yeah, and it's wonderful to have all those services in place, and frankly, if they're not funded, they don't stay in place.
Yeah.
So if you want to change your life, even, as I said, if this isn't your house, it's still almost $6 million tax-free. Get a ticket.
Yeah.
That ticket is going to then help young people in need. And without those funds, without that resource, lots and lots of young people are going to be in a really less wonderful place. So please support, please buy your tickets, and help young people in need, because there is a great need for the services that you provide.
100%. Appreciate that. Every 90 seconds, someone reaches out. So I was just reminiscing about when you made a comment before around getting people's opinions, and I have to share the funny story about the flowers. At Kingscliff. I'll soften it, but it was my first couple of time I had to help set up for some TV.
Okay, how many had I done by then?
That was only the second, I think.
Yeah, right.
It was the second
So they were very, very stressful then.
They're very stressful.
They're very stressful. I had to do everything myself, and I would be there for like days with a camera in my face, setting everything up as well as doing all the camera stuff, and it wasn't such a streamlined machine. In my defence,
In your
I got
defence.
stressed out.
So I did get some flowers, and because it was down here at Kingscliff, the prize home, the only place that could get fresh flowers, as what I thought at the time, because wasn't even aware of flower markets where we've got beautiful flowers today and poppies. I went to Coles and got some that didn't quite match the design. So anyway, I've got some feedback on my interior design. And I still laugh about that, and we've had some funny times over the years with all the fit outs, with lots of people giving different feedback, I guess. It's been fun though.
If I ask for an opinion, I really enjoy the answer. Unsolicited opinions are not welcome. So, and I believe the story that you want to say is, I walked into the house and there were flowers in a vase, and I said, "What are those?" And Joe was like, "That's what I got." I'm like, "They have to go." Because flowers are really important as setting a mood. They are really important that you get the right colours and the right structure, that they feel like they fit into an interior. Like, for example, these lilies are really sculptural and elegant, and they're also the colour palette that lines up with the rest of the house. So whilst a Coles little posy is great as a gift for mum, or to take to someone if they're in hospital, they may not, especially a variety of flowers, will likely not fit exactly the design brief that I was trying to create.
And I've learned so much along the way. I feel like I've been mentored by you also in design. There's been times when I was still ironing sheets at 10 p.m. at night, or in those early days. We've definitely done it better in the last few years. We've got it down pat. With Kate being on board, it certainly made things a lot easier.
Thank you, Kate.
But yeah, that's, it was a bit of fun. We've had some fun times, some stressful times, like our COVID experiences when we were literally doing virtual walkthroughs and all those sorts of things. It was, there was lots of fun and lots of fun memories. I just want to say thanks, Darren, for great interview. I think it's nice to meet Darren as Darren. Darren is a dad, Darren's a husband, Darren's a son, Darren's a friend, and a brother. Is that right? I covered everything?
Yes, all those things.
So I think that's nice for people to understand a little bit about Darren Palmer as not just Darren Palmer off the block.
Sometimes Darren Palmer doesn't look like this and is covered in paint, and you can find him in Bunnings. Oh my God, let me tell you the story.
Oh, tell me the story.
It's so funny. I was in Bunnings the other day, and I was in like paint covered shorts and a, pretty sloppy outfit, and my hair was, like, this is literally a few days ago. So like, this takes loads of work. And I was getting paint, and I walked past the monitor, and I was like, what is that on the monitor? And I had a look, and it's just pictures of me. And someone had typed in block judges because they're like, is that the... Because I didn't look quite like this. It was like, so I'm like killing myself laughing. I took a photo of it and the guy came over and he was like, is that you? I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's hilarious.
And it's, yeah, I mean, you're hands-on. You love doing a renovation.
I do.
You keep doing it to yourself, but you keep
Over
going
and
back.
over and over again, yeah.
Keep going back. And we love, what you created here, Darren. And someone will win this on the 23rd of December this year. For $15 a ticket, someone will get the keys. And as you say, it's for some people they'll move in and some they will sell. And that happens with all our winners, all our prize homes, with people. They have the choice, the beautiful choice of winning $5.8 million. You can do whatever you like.
Irrespective, $15 ticket, 800,000 tickets, and a $5.875 million prize. Exceptionally good odds. Life-changing result. Whether you like my interior or not, get a ticket. Get a ticket.
Because it's a win-win, because you're helping young people in need. Christmas
Yes.
Day is honestly one of our busiest days at Kids Helpline. So we have a team that work all day on Christmas Day, and so even on Christmas Day, we need more funds for that service.
Yep, so you're helping other people, you're helping kids in need, and you could also change your life.
It's a win-win. Thank you, my friend. Lovely chatting to you today.
Lovely chatting to you.
Thank you.